Keep your radio dial right here. You're locked into the hottest news station on the planet. Hot 702.5 in FM sound. Blazing today's hip hop, R&B, and pop music. Keeping your radio on fire. Bringing you the hottest, realest, riskiest talk shows live 24/7 on hot7025fm.com.
Close your eyes. Imagine a room that doesn't just look beautiful, it feels alive. The lighting is perfect, the energy is electric, and the scent of gourmet creation is in the air. Now look around. You aren't just checking the kitchen or hovering over the guest list. You're in the moment. You're the life of the party. Welcome to the world of irresistible events and catering. In a city built on spectacle, we specialize in spectacular. At Irresistible Events and Catering, we just don't fill plates, we curate memories because our philosophy is simple, elegant, and absolute. We plan, cater, and style any event. Why settle for ordinary when you can have the irresistible? Elevate your event at irresistibleeventslv.com. Hey, this is Her Flow from Hot 702.5 FM, where we bring you the best in hip-hop, R&B, pop, and talk. Tune in. Hey, thank you for tuning in. You are tuning into The Flow with Her Flow right here on Hot 702.5 FM, Risky Radio. You guys tune in to me every week because every week I am blazing hot right here on Thursdays at 4 p.m. Come back every week. Hi, I have a guest on today, and you guys are going to be so amazed at her knowledge of what she knows about the criminal system. I tuned into her live one day, and she is a social media influencer, but guess what? She's so much more. And I'm going to go ahead and introduce her and get her on the show. Her name is Lavender Echoes. Hi, Lavender. How are you?
I'm doing really well. How are you?
I'm doing amazing. It is so wonderful to have you on because guess what? My audience is going to learn so much today. So much that I think it's so important and so critical to know. Okay, this message that you're going to give today is critical, right? So let me ask you this. So this is how I ran into you. I ran into you because I am a social media influencer myself, and I do have a page on TikTok. But however, I was scrolling one day and I ran across your page, and I actually scrolled through the page for a minute, and then I scrolled back because I had to listen to what you had to say. And you have so much that you have accomplished and are passing on that message to other women and other people that need to hear it. So I'm going to introduce you because you're so much more. Like, I can't even stop right now. So you're a USAF veteran, okay, former correctional officer, former fusion center analyst, former security and terroristic threat group coordinator, former internal affairs investigator, computer voice stress analyzer, examiner, former crisis negotiator, former first responder, victim advocate, and you worked on sexual assault cases, correct? I had to give you that introduction because I could not miss anything. So, Lavender, one thing I want you to do is just kind of relax today because we have so much to talk about, and just know you are not going to make a mistake here on The Flow with the information that you have to give to us. So, first of all, tell me a little bit about yourself. First of all, I want to know where you're from, and how did you start the project of talking to women about prison love and what can happen and that type of thing. So, just give me a little backdrop.
Okay. Unfortunately, I don't want to put too much information about where I'm from. I'm really sorry about that. I've got to keep that guarded.
That's okay. I know. Yeah.
No, because I've been recently doxxed and threatened by a community. Okay. I've actually got to go to court tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah, but after I got out of the Air Force.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
But it's being taken care of. It's being taken care of and taken seriously. But after I got out of the Air Force, I was non-destructive inspection, which is what we did like x-rays and ultrasound and other type of inspection types of methods to make sure that planes were okay to fly. And I did that happily for 10 years active duty. And I got out and I wanted to move near my father and extended family, and I could not find a job. And that's a whole other topic right there, but I could not find a job doing what I was trained to do. And so I ended up going into corrections, and I wasn't really happy about that at all. I was just a regular correctional officer, just working the floors, just making sure that security of the unit, doing what I was basically a grunt. It was grunt work. Um, and I did that for a few years, and I grew really tired of it because of all the things you deal with in there. And I was going to leave. I was planning on quitting. And one day, because I worked nights, it was like 12-hour shifts at night. And I was, doing all the security measures for the warden because she insisted that, she goes through every security measure because she kind of wanted to see how the people at the front were doing shakedowns and searches and stuff like that. So she insisted that everybody got shook down. So I was pat searching her and stuff one morning, and she was like, "Hey, I heard you were quitting." And I was like, "Yes, ma'am." And she said, "Well, we don't really want to lose you. I've heard that you did really good work from your shift supervisor, the lieutenant. And how about this? How about, because the state opened up this new position called the Fusion Center." And she said, "We could have you working 5 days a week. You get your weekends and holidays. And you would have to come in once in a blue moon to do visitation duty." And I said, "Okay, that sounds good, but what is it?" And she was explaining that it had to do with some new technology that we got in intelligence. Basically, just new security measures to ensure unit safety. And so I said, "Yeah, of course. Yeah, that sounds really cool." Plus, I got my own office, so that was
Mm.
really good. And after I was doing that for a little bit, and I started seeing some of the cases that were coming across my desk, I realized something. There were a lot of women, of course, coming to visit these guys in prison. And I used to be really judgmental about that. I used to think like, how could you do that? Kind of like what the majority of us out here think is, how could she do that? Why would you do that? Why would you waste your time like that? And I had that mindset. But then as I was doing investigation after investigation, a lot of them were women that were helping to bring contraband in. And I saw women that had no prior criminal history just risk everything over the love of a man. And after doing a lot of, because I would have to listen to the phone calls and do a lot of digging, like, where did this start? Because, of course, for the investigation, the warden wants to know, how long was this happening? And these guys would be working on these women for weeks, in some cases, months, just wearing them down. And they were using the fact that they loved them, and using the fact that, like, they were weaponizing the fact that they knew that the women were working sometimes 2 and 3 jobs to make ends meet. And they were using that plus their love to manipulate women into doing things that they would have never done.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I saw some pretty rotten things. And so after that, and then I, moved on to internal affairs, and then I saw it happening because it wasn't just my unit that I was working at, it was the entire state. Women just throwing their lives away, ruining their reputations. In one case, a therapist. I think that was the highest paid person that I ever saw come across my desk. And it was just awful. And the story was just about the same, just about cookie cutter kind of situation with the manipulation. And I realized that these women weren't stupid. They were in love, and they believed in the man that they were with. And so now that I'm no longer affiliated with any law enforcement agency, I want to tell women the inside of the insider information to help keep them and their children safe.
Yeah, I really applaud you. Again, when I stopped on your platform, I saw how you were affecting women and their decisions on how they would live their life and create a better life for themselves. And so a lot of people don't agree with you, right? And you're not always going to have people that agree with you simply because you're spreading messages that are critical to women that are going to save their lives. And everybody does not want to do that. We're not aligned with that, as you can clearly see. And so, how long have you had your platform, and what made you just say, you know what, I'm going to spread this message after being on TikTok, and you got such a large audience? How is that for you, and how has it affected you internally?
Okay. Well, I've only been doing this since August. Well, since live streaming since August, but I started doing videos um July of last year, and that
Mhm.
was an accident. I actually tell my community, especially the new people, like, don't let the grass grow under your feet when you have an idea. I have been wanting to spread this message since right after I left law enforcement, but you know, things happened. We had a whole, the global event happened, and then I got sick. I had cancer, and it was just, thing after thing after thing. Um, but I had to be honest. Like when I talk to my community about this, and I tell them I have to be honest. I have an issue with imposter syndrome. It doesn't matter, how good I get at something or, what I accomplish. There's this underlying current that I'm not good enough. And so, I mean, yeah, there were some pretty big things happening in my life, but I could have done this, but the biggest underlying thing was I wasn't sure if anybody was going to care. And so I put it off and put it off. And then one day in June, I just happened to be scrolling through TikTok, and there was this video, this big creator, and I wish I could remember her name. But she had this video where this guy was talking some very misogynistic things about women.
Right. Hmm.
And I looked at him and I immediately knew that that guy had a record. And I also knew some other things about him because I've interviewed hundreds and hundreds, like close to 1,000 people. I've conducted around 2,000 lie detector tests, and so I was able to just look at
Detect
this
that.
guy.
Hmm. Hmm.
And
Hmm.
so I put it in the comments,
Yeah.
and they were
Yeah.
like, the ladies were like, what? Can you explain more? And I was like, sure. And I explained some more, and they were like, can you make a video?
Yeah.
And
I see
so,
people attacking you
uh,
all the time though, Lavender, not to interrupt you on your journey here, but I
uh-huh.
see people attacking you. What would you say to those who say, "You know what? I just feel like, she's man bashing because she doesn't know, anything about, they talk about your personal life." Have they ever asked you, have you been through that yourself, which is why you consider doing this? Have you been ever asked that? I'm pretty sure on your show. Have you experienced that? You don't know what you're talking about. So what makes you continue to do it, even with the comments that you've had before? Can you answer that for me?
Absolutely. No, that's like a lot of people's first assumption is that I've gone through it. A lot of people say some real rotten stuff like, oh, she got caught with an inmate, or oh, she got burned by somebody. Like, no. The reason I hit this topic so hard is because nobody else is doing it. Um, and I'm just going to be honest, the majority of the people that were in my profession were men. And, men are especially hard on the ladies sometimes. And a lot of people, of course, think that, these women aren't smart, or, they deserve what they get, for messing around with inmates. And I don't feel that way. Like I'm literally here to help all the women, even the ones that don't like me so much. Like I hope they stick around and just listen for a little bit, because I'm just going to say it. I believe that one of the reasons why they're so upset is because they recognize something is kind of amiss in their
Yeah.
relationship. Maybe something has struck a nerve, and they might want to be there. But yeah, I get attacked all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
for
I've
my
watched
views.
I've watched Love After Lockup, which is I really love that show. But a lot of times when I watch that show, women are really masqueraded as being not so smart in these cases. But you get women on your platform from all over. So tell me the types of situations that you've seen that you just go, how can you not understand what's going on here? Kind of express to me what you have seen and how you have tried to insist that they get help. For example, give me some of the examples that you've saw in the show, and you maybe have known the person even because you're an internal investigator, just like you said. Are there situations where you say you got to go get help right now? This is a 911, because of course you talk about children being in these situations. You talk about women sending money. Give me some of the situations where you say, because people have to know, what type of situations happen, what things happen when they are dealing with these men that are locked up. What kind of situations can happen?
Well, there's a few. Some of the major ones are extreme financial risk. What a lot of people, some people admit it, but kind of this underlying secret in that community is the women are going into, they're becoming destitute. They're losing their homes. They're losing everything because they're trying to make a man happy. Um, I always ask women, why would you put so much towards a person that, I'm sorry, didn't care enough about their own freedom to be free in the first place? So he makes decisions, because you don't just like trip and land in prison. It's a series of bad decisions. He makes the decisions, he's in prison, and then he expects a woman to pick up the slack for him and in some ways become, well, kind of like a mommy, but one that he's telling, whispering sweet nothings to, but she's emptying her wallet. There are women that lose their homes, end up couch surfing. Um,
How does that
gosh,
happen, Lavender? Because my thing is, so these women meet someone, and how do they end up meeting them? Do they send them letters? Like, okay, they're locked up. So I know they have a TikTok platform where now they're able to use TikTok and Facebook and all these different things. So tell me how some of these women meet these men that are locked up. Are they already having relationships and they get locked up? Give me some scenarios.
I'm sorry, I want to first explain that inmates themselves are not allowed to be on social media.
Got it. I see them all the
When
time. That's why it's
when
like,
they're
are they okay?
they are on
Okay.
illegal cell phones. They're on
Okay.
illegal cell phones. And
Okay.
one of the things that I tell women all the time is that if there is an inmate on a phone like that, he does not care about himself. He will not care about you, because he could catch extra charges for that, because a cell phone is the most dangerous thing an inmate can have, because he can
Mm-hmm.
contact people that he should not be able to contact. Um, Back when I first got the position in the Fusion Center, the guy in the state, he was like the rock star of the state. I was being sent over for a few days to go train with him. Right before I got to him to learn the job, he had just gotten finished with a case where a man with a cell phone at his prison called a hit out on the mother of his child.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
Mm.
anytime an inmate has a cell phone, they're up to no good. It's never for anything positive. Um, they're it's really dangerous. And so I try to tell women that that's a big warning sign. If you see an inmate streaming, he shouldn't be, and he knows it, and he's really playing fast and loose with his own freedom. That's actually an indicator, in my opinion, that he's not even trying to go home, because he could get caught any day. That's extra charges. If he had any chance of getting out, he's about to lose it. And then he's going to have to wait whatever the cycle is for him to become eligible again for parole. That is
Mm.
an indicator he is just being really as comfortable as he can be in prison. He does not want to come out. Also, yeah, he is doing it's not just that he's using the phone to stream, to find ladies online. He's using it for nefarious reasons. A lot of times they're into drug trafficking. Um, or they want women to move money via Cash App or Venmo or some other third party money app.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that is extremely illegal. There are women going away um, because they ended up, like, an investigation concluded that they were a part of something that they
Mm-hmm.
had no idea about. There actually, like, there was a woman a couple of weeks ago that was sort of bragging about how her man sends her money via Cash App, and she knows he is dealing in illicit substances in there, you know, and she doesn't care because she needs the money to pay the bills. And I asked her, I said, how would you feel if one day uh, you were arrested for it? And she's like, I'm not worried, like, I'll take the chance. I've already been doing it. And I asked her, I was like, how would you feel though if, like, when they brought you into the station and they are telling you the charges, some of those charges include, like, the trafficking of children. And she's like, what do you mean? And I said, like, your guy he's probably not the boss of whatever substance trafficking. Especially if if he's moving money around like that, he could be kind of low on the totem pole, and you being involved, you're also low, and both of you are expendable.
Yeah.
That money could be changing hands and going towards things that are not anything you want to be involved in.
Yeah. And
One of the worst things.
that's not just women too, because I have so many questions and I know that I don't mean to step over you while you're talking, and I promise, but we have a short time and I just want to you got so much information. But on that note that you were saying that they send money, is that for anybody that sends? Because if they're getting money inside more than what they're getting, because I'm pretty sure they're not getting a lot of money working or doing their jobs in prison if they have one, right? So how does the prison determine that this money is exchanging hands? And if you have somebody in there that is sending money to a female, is sending money to getting money, how is that determined by the prison, with you being an internal into a prison guard and into internal investigations?
All right, so there's the legal way to send money to an inmate, and that's through, I guess, like, some people have JPay, some people have, but a lot of people know about JPay. Um, the the official prison channels, that's where the prison can see immediately where money is coming from. Um, but this stuff that I'm talking about, Cash App, the prison is not necessarily going to know unless they retrieve the cell phone.
Mm.
So they do a shakedown, they find the phone, or somebody snitches on the other guy and they find the phone. And then they take the phone over to somebody who specializes in getting that phone open and finding out everything that it's being used for. And then, depending on the situation, depending on the severity of the situation, the information gets turned over to whoever is necessary. It could be state police, it could be the feds, it could be somebody. Like, it just depends on what is happening. Like, what is that inmate actually a part of? And
Mm-hmm.
so there are women going down for, like, federal charges for things that they wouldn't even have dreamt of being a part of. Like, if they knew what they were doing, they wouldn't have done that.
Yeah. And
Um,
do you think some of them know and some of them are just ambiguous to, even though I know, I really don't care? What percentage of women do you think, and I'm just saying off the top of your head, are just saying, oh yeah, I know this is happening and I know, what I'm doing is illegal, but it's so in love with the thought of, and I'm not going to say the relationship, because how do you have a relationship with someone that's locked up that you can't spend time with? So I'm going to say the illusion of this promise that's being made to them.
I can't really give a percentage
Yeah.
because I don't know. I know there's a lot of women every single time I'm in, my live and I'm talking about Cash App. There's several women that don't even know that they weren't supposed to do that. I don't have, I don't think there's a way for me to get an accurate percentage of, the women that don't know what they're doing versus the women that do know what they're doing. Or at least, I don't even want to say that the women know what they're doing, because I don't think any of the women that are moving money via Cash App or some other third party money app, I don't think any of them actually 100% know what they're doing.
Mm.
Because if they are moving money, like, if they're doing that with an inmate, that tells me that they are bottom of the totem pole. So their guy probably doesn't even have all the information. He's
Right.
expendable. she is also expendable. But he has more information than she does.
Yeah.
Like a little bit more, but yeah, they're both like toss them. They're replaceable. They could just like if something happens to them, they could just go replace them with other people. And I think a lot of women don't understand that part. I think a lot of women that think they know, like they know that their boyfriend is in there selling substances. Even if they do know, I think that they don't really understand that he's probably not in charge.
Yeah. And let me ask you this, because they not only are asking money from the women that, multiple women, right? Sometimes they have multiple women that are sending them money, correct?
Yes. Most
Tell,
of the
tell,
time.
tell me about
Most of the
that.
time.
Let's talk about it.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's
No,
what
it's
we're here
really,
for. I really want to know, because this is so critical for women to understand that most times it's not love after lockup. And so not only are you detrimental to yourself, but you're also detrimental to if you have children. And so I kind of want you to go into that of how, and there are men sometimes involved in it. Now, sometimes they're on the DL, correct, Lavender?
I don't actually like to call, because I'm going to tell you, because, okay, and this is going to be weird because a
Yeah.
lot of people find this very confusing.
Okay.
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 I don't want to call the guys in prison. I don't want to say that they're part of the LGBTQIA community because I don't believe that most of them are. I believe there's
Okay.
just about as many people in prison, like the same percentage of people in the, I'm willing to guess that about the same amount of people out here that are a part of the LGBTQIA community are actually in prison, like when it comes to men. Um, there's a thing that happens in human nature when you take people away from the people that they would, usually be with intimately, and then you put them around each other and they are, being things are going to happen. They're going to, have these relationships with each other. But I actually talk about that a lot. Like, there's so many women that don't understand that, one, they're not the only one. It's actually kind of rare to find a guy in prison that is only talking to one woman. Doesn't happen a lot. Most of them are being fed a recycled story. And sometimes, a lot of times, that story isn't even written by that man. He got that information. He got that jail talk from some more senior inmate, that they actually buy letters. They just replace the
Wow.
names. It's really sad. And in some
Yeah.
cases, like you were talking about how there might be men involved.
Yeah.
I've seen it where women will be asked to send money on the books of another inmate. Like, her man will call her up and say, hey, I got in trouble, well, not in trouble, but I lost a bet. And so I need you to put money on inmate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8's books. And she's like, okay, well, how much? And he's like, well, $20. And she's thinking that it's for a debt, but she's paying for her man's
Man.
partner's
Okay.
lifestyle
Mm.
in there. Like, her man's man. Like, that happens a lot.
You know what? Listen, I got to take a break. It's deep. And so I really want to come back. I'm going to play one song and then we're going to get back into that, because I got a lot of people watching this show today because they were very curious about how inmates operate inside of a prison. Because a lot of people do want to know. A lot of women are dating men that are in prison. And I want to go back to the question of how do they meet? Do they meet from your stories that you've heard? And I'm pretty sure you've heard a lot of stories. We'll come back to that. You're listening to The Flow right here with Her Flow on Hot 702.5 FM. And I'll be back in a minute.
I'ma show you I'm the best, yeah. I'ma show you I'm the best. Get with me, I'll invest. Get with me, I'll invest. I'ma show you I'm the best, yeah. I'ma show you I'm the best. Get with me, I'll invest. Get with me, I'll invest. and I'ma get it poppin', and I can take you shopping. With me, there's no stopping, hey. With me, there's no stopping. There's no stopping, I'ma hold you in my arms. Harvest go now is warm, and baby, we can beat the storm. Loving you like Boston George, and darling, you my moon, hey. Yeah, you show me the light. Get with me, I'll treat you right, hey. And I'll treat you right. Now she wanna rock and she wanna roll. Baby, I won't bend and I won't fold. And I can get you now, your heart I stole. Your heart I stole. Ooh, 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 ooh. And I want you. I'ma show you I'm the best, yeah. I'ma show you I'm the best. Get with me, I'll invest. Get with me, I'll invest. I'ma show you I'm the best, yeah. I'ma show you I'm the best. Get with me, I'll invest. Get with me, I'll invest. And I'ma get it poppin', and I can take you shopping. With me, there's no stopping, hey. With me, there's no stopping. We can hit the lotto, lotto, lotto. We can pop a bottle, bottle, bottle. You looking like a model, model, model. Model, hey. Invest, the best. Invest, hey.
If I give all my time, you ain't gotta try. I get it, get it. Got something on the side, you ain't gotta lie. Now with it, I'm about to roll up. Tell me what's the hold up. So get it. Let's talk about this now. I'll make it real loud. Unneeded problems, trust has fallen. Got folks calling my phone now. What you gon' do? Need me to do? Roll through and solve this problem. Unneeded problems, trust has fallen. Got folks calling my phone now. What you gon' do? Need me to do? Roll through and solve this problem. Let me know what's up. Let me know what's You real tight lips, saying nothing. I might jump ship. See you drowning into nowhere, and you best believe you wanna play the victim. You gotta play the victim. Unneeded problems, trust has fallen. Got folks calling my phone now. What you gon' do? Need me to do? Roll through and solve this problem. Unneeded problems, trust has fallen. Got folks calling my phone now. What you gon' do? Need me to do? Roll through and solve this problem. Let me know what's up. Let me know what's up.
What it is, I know you run your sister, so I'ma just keep it crisp. Ooh-wee, believe me, I love what you got, but I'm young and I'm dumb, running straight to the top. Leave it, color-coded, with it, love whenever you be showing emotion, yeah, that mean I got you. To be honest, ain't a lot of chicks that really top you, and you know I'm with it, nothing to lose. You got the juice, I be around some groupies, but I'm not into those. Yeah, I want you in the picture, but you changing your pose, banging me up, calling my phone, saying you know what I'm doing, you know you hard, you ain't moving, so tell them cats in them DMs, if I see him, my baby gon' be making a post that say free him, cause your love worth 100 miles of running facts. Let me call this girl back.
This is Her Flow from Hot 702.5 FM. Las Vegas, looking for a winner takes all way to burn off that extra energy? Welcome to Bouncy World, the ultimate climate controlled indoor playground. We're stacking the deck with specials all week long. Cool off with Frosty Tuesdays featuring ice cold treats for the kids. Then join us for free popcorn Thursdays, because nothing beats a salty snack after a giant bounce. And at Bouncy World, we believe every child deserves their moment to soar. Join us every Sunday from 9 to 11 a.m. for Sensory Sundays. We dim the lights and turn off the music to create a calm, inclusive space designed specifically for our newer, diverse community. At Bouncy World, we fly high. From high-flying fun to inclusive play, we've got it all. Visit us at bouncyworldlv.com to book your party or check our open play hours. Bouncy World, jump into the fun today. Hey, this is Her Flow from Hot 702.5 FM, where we bring you the best in hip-hop, R&B, pop, and talk. Tune in. Hey, we are back here with the flow, right here with Her Flow on Hot 702.5 FM, Risky Radio. You guys, thank you for tuning in with me every single week. We have such an amazing, interesting guest on here today talking about love in lockup. And I don't know if I should call it love. Maybe I should call it illusion in lockup. I'm not sure after hearing this show. But however, Lavender Echoes, thank you for coming back on. I definitely appreciate you. If you're there, come back on for me. Hey, girl. Hey,
Hi.
Queen, lady, queen, not girl, lady, queen. Listen, Lavender, what I want to talk about, I always say, hey, girl, hey. But I definitely want to talk about, because you are really strengthening women. And I want to give you, if you didn't tune into the last episode of what we were talking about men that are locked up that are really in cahoots with other men in prison and with themselves and with women, trying to get money, taking money from women, and just a whole lot of other things that they're doing to create just all kind of chaos in women's lives. And let me ask you this: do you see it on the women's side? Women doing the same thing when it comes, or is it more that you see it with men?
I believe that women, because we are in a patriarchy where men are in charge, whether we like it or not, I don't believe it's the same thing. Yeah,
Okay.
there's women trying to get money from guys, when they're locked up. But the guys that are trying to get with those ladies that are in prison are kind of their own different let me say it nicely. They like the fact that she's in a cage. They find that attractive that she's in a cage. They find that alluring that she is a bird in a cage.
Mm.
It's not the same. He knows exactly what he's doing. He is where he wants to be. I don't
Yeah.
believe they're being taken. They are looking for that.
Yeah.
Kind
Yeah.
of like a man would be into, other things. Not the same motivations
Got
at
it.
all.
Got it.
Mm-mm.
Tell me the playbook that you would say, and I know you don't know all the playbook, but a woman meets a man, and again, I want to go back to how they're meeting these men. Do you find most of them knew them before they went to prison, or are they being introduced to these men by other people? When you hear your stories on TikTok, because I want people to go to your page, and I'm going to tell them it's Lavender Echoes on TikTok. You guys really got to go there. There's so much valuable information. If you are thinking about dating a man in prison, or you already have a man in prison, I want you to go watch Lavender Echoes TikTok and show and her platform, because you would literally change your mind about your decisions. You would totally have a different thought pattern. So tell me, what is the playbook with these men that you hear stories of?
Okay, so a lot of people think that the women that get involved with these guys are all like pen pals and stuff like that. But the majority of them, my understanding, is that these are women that knew these men before they went to prison. It is a lot easier to manipulate a woman when there are um, emotions attached. And it's not even just like ex-wives or current wives, current girlfriends or ex-girlfriends or women that he's dated in the past. This could be, that girl he used to walk to school with in middle school. They're going all the way back down. They're going through their Rolodex of women that they knew. Um, because I mean, it's easier to get stuff from us. We have been socialized as women to want to be nurturing and helpful, um, and things of that nature. We are kind of socialized to like want to fix a man, want to build him up, things like that, until women kind of unlearn you know,
Habits.
those
Yeah.
teachings,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it's a lot of them are women that he had already encountered before he went to prison. There are some women that become pen pals, and I want to be really clear about the pen pals. A lot of those women that get involved with a guy that they don't even know and he's locked up, um, I'm finding out there's been 5 women in the few months that I've been doing this that have explicitly told me that the reason that they were looking for love, behind the razor wire was because unfortunately they had been in previous physically abusive relationships.
Hmm.
And so
So
they
you think
still
they're
wanted,
trauma responses, basically?
yes, and they
Yeah.
think that
Yeah.
it's going to be safer because he can't just pop up on them.
Mhm.
But it turns out to be like a lot of psychological damage. I tell people all the time, whether you knew the man before or you're just meeting him while he's locked up, um, I believe from the things that I've seen and heard in my career that a lot of these women are in they're in DV relationships. I'm just going to call it like that. So they're not being hit. And so I believe because our society kind of doesn't have a full grasp on what domestic violence is,
Mhm.
there's a lot of women who are suffering abuse at the hands of these inmates, or like not at the hands, at the phones, of these inmates.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And they're not
Emotional and
realizing
emotional too. Emotional, mental abuse because they get
financial.
these women's and financial abuse because, like you say, a lot of these women have children, and so they're taking out of the homes of their children to send money, and these men make them feel guilty of not being able to send money a lot of times. Right? If you love me, you'll send money. Have you seen that?
Yes, I have. Um, they will say all sorts of things to guilt trip a woman into doing that. Well, I'm in here and you're out there, you're able to go make money, and I'm just sitting here. I thought we were in this together. Things like that.
Mm.
I thought you promised that you were going to stick by me in this, even though he was the one that got in trouble and left
Yeah,
her.
yeah.
And just something, if I can say this really quickly, um, there are a lot of women that, you know, come onto my panels and they ask, well, I knew this guy before. We were married before. So are you telling me that I should just abandon my husband or my boyfriend or, my kid's father? And I'm like, he already abandoned you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I tell them, they're under no obligation anymore. And the fact that you've been bamboozled into supporting financially, emotionally, secretarially. I mean, they're doing all of this labor for these guys that have already abandoned them and their children first.
Are they manipulative to the family as well? Like if they have family members or sisters, brothers, mothers, besides being, manipulative to the partner that they are maybe married to when they went to jail, do you see other manipulations? Because I'm pretty sure there is. They're not just manipulating the people that they're meeting, the women that they're meeting.
Absolutely. Gosh, one of the most troubling instances I've seen of that was this man. I caught it live, a live call, back when I was in uniform. And he was on the phone with his mother, who sounded like she was going to pass away at any moment. Like if the wind blew wrong, she was going to be gone. And he is like, Mom, I need you to put $100 on my books right away because if you don't, these guys are going to stomp me out and all this stuff. And she was like, what's going on, and when do you need it and all this stuff. And he's really scaring his mother. And so because this is live, I'm taking notes down because I'm trying to find out as much as I can. I'm on my computer. Where is this guy located? So I can, go, like my partner and I can go grab him and talk to him to find out because, like, is this a gang thing or what is this? Because this is a security issue. The way that he was talking to his mom sounded like this was, like it could potentially be a pretty big security issue. And so he gets off the phone with his mom. And so, I have them, I call down and have him sent to medical. And my partner and I intercepted him. And we took him into a space where it was just the three of us. And I'm asking him, hey, I just caught this call that you were talking to your mom and saying, that you were going to get hurt if you don't get $100. What's going on? And he was like, whoa. He said, look, my mom had cut me off a little while ago because of my gambling in prison. And so she's only sending me like the basic stuff. And I'm just trying to buy some shoes for my boyfriend.
Oh, wow. Wow. And this is the thing, because I've saw some of the men dressed up in prison with the Nikes and the, and they're dressed better than some of the women that are sending them the money. And, this is the thing. I saw you talk about that the other day, how these women are out here struggling and they got on wristbands and watches and all these different necklaces, and here these women are with children trying to survive. Do you see women from all walks of life, Lavender?
I did.
Yeah.
It
come on
didn't
your
matter.
live, on your platform.
on
Do
my
you
live?
see
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, that have been taken advantage of. Absolutely.
Yeah, from nurses
Absolutely.
to therapists to, they can come from anywhere where they
Business
meet
women,
this.
lawyers, doesn't matter, from
Yeah.
all ethnicities, because a lot of people assume that because of my appearance I'm only talking about one community, but this is happening like in all ethnic groups and all socioeconomic classes. It doesn't matter. In all educational levels, it doesn't matter. It's happening to women.
All over. Let me ask you this. I'm going to give you, I want you probably got about 4 minutes left, right? So tell me, give these women a talk right now and tell them right now what you, just some advice on how not to get involved in these type of situations, because they need to know this, because this is going to be shared, this video, and I need that from you so that we can, save some of these women that are going through that right now.
I would tell them to remember that it is not your responsibility to fix anyone. You cannot fix anybody at all. I don't care if you're a therapist. That man's not your patient. It would be unethical for him to even be your patient, right? You can't fix him. If you knew him before he went to prison and he decided to do the things that he did to get himself locked up, that's not on you. He abandoned you first. It is okay to let go. And we are in a climate right now where everything is expensive. Depending on your zip code, you might not even get proper health care because they've made some changes in the last few years. I don't think that it's a good gamble, because I'm not saying that all men coming out of prison are going to be awful, but I am saying, trying to hitch your wagon to that teaspoon out of the ocean is not a good gamble. And it's bad if you've got children, but or without children, but it's especially heinous when you have children. And the kids, we're supposed to be protecting them. They're going to see all of that, and they're just along for the ride. Our job is to protect them.
Yeah. Because they take them to the prisons to see them, and then they have to deal with that internally as well. So, you know what, Lavender, I have loved having you on today. You have been so informative, and I really hope that this touches women's hearts and their minds and strengthen them to know that, guess what, you are okay by yourself. You don't need that type of love because that's not really love anyway. And to love yourself and be the best version of yourself that you can be. And I appreciate you coming on, and you just keep so many women safe every single day. And all the followers that you have, continue to spread the message, because I'm going to have you back on soon, okay? You have been listening to Her Flow right here on Hot 702.5 FM, Risky Radio. You guys tune back in. And Lavender is on YouTube. She's also on TikTok, and you can find her at Lavender Echoes at all her social media platforms. And I thank you for listening. You've been listening to Her Flow on the Flow. Thank you. Hey, this is The Flow from Hot 702.5 FM, Risky Radio. Tune in every Thursday at 5 p.m. to listen to dope people, dope topics, and dope vibes.